Alright, this is video number 1 of the final exam review, so hopefully you're following along with me and all your questions will be answered. Alright, so first off, we're looking for the plurality winner, question number 1. Now, most of y'all still remember this, even though it was the first thing we actually went over. Remember, the plurality winner is everybody that's on the top row. Okay, so New Zealand had 36 votes. Scotland had 45 first place votes, Italy 34, and then France 40. So the largest one is 45 with Scotland. Now, what is the percentage of the vote that the plurality winner received? Now, I've said this several times in class. To find the percentage is what you want divided by the total. And what I want is the percentage of the plurality winner. So Scotland is plurality winner. That's 45. And then I'm going to divide it by the total vote, which 36 plus 45 plus 34 plus 40, that gives me 155. Okay, so 45 divided by 155, that gives me 0.29, but remember I got to move the decimal 2 places over. There you go, 29%. Based on the above preference schedule, how many votes must a country get? Now, if you remember that the majority winner has to get more than 50% of the vote. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is find the total. Well, the total ended up being 155. So 155 divided by 2, because that's what 50% is, divided by 2. That gives me 77.5. Now, this number represents the 50% mark. Okay, now the majority winner has to be more than 50%. So it's that next number after this point here. And so the next whole number after 77.5 is 78. What would the board account score be for New Zealand? Now, normally I have you do this for everybody, but I just didn't want to spend a ton of time doing this. All right, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Going back to my preference schedule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Notice New Zealand's in first place. That's a 5-pointer, 36 times. So 5 times 36. Move to the next column. New Zealand's now in second place, and that's a 4-pointer. 4 times 45. Plus New Zealand is now in last place, and that's a 1-pointer. 1 times 34. And then lastly, New Zealand's in last place again. That's a 1-pointer, 40 times. 1 times 40. Do the math, you get 434. All right, next page. The approval rating. Okay, so the approval rating, they're first and second choice. Now, each question is different because it will tell you what to focus on, first and second choice. So that means third, fourth, fifth. All these bottom 3 rows, I don't pay attention to. All right, so now New Zealand and Italy. Now, it doesn't matter that Italy's in second place, New Zealand's in first place. It doesn't matter. They're both getting the vote. So 36 people approve of both New Zealand and Italy. And again, I just got that number from down there. Scotland and New Zealand will both get 45 votes. Italy and France, 34. And then France and Scotland. And then you just go through it. So like, for example, I'm just going to use New Zealand. New Zealand was here, here. So New Zealand was represented here. So that means its approval rating is 36 and 45. I believe that's going to be 81. And then let's see, Italy, 36, 34, 36, 34. I believe that's 70. Scotland, 85. France, here and here, 74. And I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Australia. That's it. Australia was never approved, 0. So the highest, Scotland with 85. All right. Now the runoff winner. The runoff winner is, let's see, got to get everybody's first place votes. So New Zealand has 36. Scotland has 45. Italy has 34. Just getting the plurality winners, or plurality votes. France was 40. All right. Now, under the runoff, Australia had 0. All right, so under runoff, you keep the top two and you eliminate everybody else. So the top two vote getters was Scotland and France. Australia, Italy, New Zealand are gone. All right, so let's see, New Zealand, Italy, Australia. Scotland and France. All right, so Italy, Australia, New Zealand. All right, so now in first place is now Scotland because those two got eliminated. Scotland's in first place here. France is in first place here. France is in first place here. So they both won two columns, but don't say, oh, it's a tie, because each column is weighted differently. Scotland won these two columns, 36 and 45. That's a grand total of 81. And then France won these two columns, 34 and 40, grand total of, France, 74. Scotland wins. All right, next one is sequential runoff. All right, under sequential runoff, very similar to regular runoff, you got to get everybody's first place votes. Italy started off with 20. Italy started off with 45. There's two columns. Italy came in first place. I didn't see that. All right, so Italy has 45 votes. Australia has 19 votes. Let's see, Scotland has 35 votes. New Zealand has 56 votes. And France was never in first place. So France has 0. Now, under sequential runoff, you eliminate one at a time, and which is my last place. So France is going first. So goodbye, France. 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 Now, normally you would then go and see who's in first place and you redistribute the votes. But since France never came in first place, there's no votes to be redistributed. So we just kind of say, you know what, that's that. All right, so the next one would be Australia. So Australia, 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 Australia. All right, so Italy's in first place here. New Zealand, Italy again, Scotland, New Zealand. All right, so let's see. Italy had those votes. Nothing changed. All right, so Italy still has 45 votes. Let's see. Scotland still has 35, but now New Zealand has 2 votes. Let's see, that's 56, 19. I believe that's going to be 75. All right. So next, Scotland will be eliminated. So Scotland, Scotland, Scotland. Oh, there we go. There's Scotland, and then there's Scotland. Well, the only thing that changed was now Italy is in first place. All right. So when we do the math, we notice that Italy, let's see, Italy won those 3 columns. So now Italy has 80 votes. New Zealand still has 75. So Italy wins. All right. Next one here. Based upon the preference schedule, how many votes are required to be the majority winner? All right. So again, add up all the votes. All right. 7 plus 5 plus 9 plus 3 plus 25. That gives me 49. I'm going to divide that by 2 because remember, the majority is greater than 50%. So when I divide, I don't know why I put 45, 49, divide by 2, I get 24.5. Now remember, 24.5 is your halfway point. It's the next higher number, which would be 25. Now, did anybody actually get 25 votes? Well, in this one, yes. C did. C got 25 votes. So C is the majority winner. Since you have a majority winner, you would not deal with any type of runoff. All right. So, find which country has the largest percentage for each place. Find the percentage. All right. So, I'm specifically asking for first place. So, first place, I look at the top row. New Zealand has 36 votes. Scotland has 45 votes. I'm just kind of writing a small list here. Italy has 45 votes. And then lastly, France has 40 votes. All right, just looked at the top row. Now, Scotland, sorry, I don't know why I put Italy with 45 to 34. All right, so Scotland ended up being our top dog. So what country is ranked in first place the most? That would be Scotland. Now we've got to convert that to a percentage. Well, if a percentage, remember, is what I want over the total. All right, so what I want is first place votes, which is 45, and I divide that by the total, which is 36, 45, all that added together. I believe that was 155. But I'm going to check. 36 plus 45 plus 34 plus, let's try that again, 36 plus 45 plus 34 plus 40. 155, 45 divided by 155, 29, I want to times that by, 29%. There you go. All right, now the next one is what country is ranked in second place the most? Now this is where some folks screw up a little bit, and that is because when they want second place, they automatically look at the next place, which is France. No, when I say second place, I'm going to use this with a piece of paper here. I'm taking away first place, and those are all my second place votes. So again, remember, this was first place. I'm taking it away. Now, that's what I'm looking at. So I'm specifically asking for who was ranked second, meaning who would be on the second row. So off to the side here, Italy has 36. New Zealand has 45. France has 34. And then Scotland has 40. Again, New Zealand had the most second place votes, and it actually works out this way. 45 divided by 55 give you 29%. All right, next one. See if I can zoom in just a little bit. All right, so John is answering weighted voting question. Voters A, B, C, and D. All right, so here's all the possibilities. All right, so these are all the different coalitions on a weighted voting situation here. You need 17 votes. So any group that does not have 17 votes gets eliminated. So no. Okay, we only have 3. So we only have 3 winning coalitions. All right. Now from here, you then go through each coalition and ask yourself, if one of these people were to leave, would it be a loser? So like, for example, if A would to leave the coalition and take his 9 votes with him, that 19 drops to a 10. So A is special. He has to be there. Looking at C, C has 10 votes. Well, if C took his 10 votes away, that 19 would drop to 9, and you need 17 votes. So yes, that would also be a losing coalition. B and C, same thing. If B was to leave, that 17 drops to a 10. That would be a losing coalition. B has to be there. C, same thing. C has to be there, because if C walks away, that coalition is at 7, and it's a loser. All right. Now looking at A, if A decides to leave the coalition, that 26 drops to a 17. That's still a winning coalition. A is not special. Looking at B, again, if B was to walk away from that coalition, this 26 drops to a 19. That's still a winning coalition because you need 17 votes. So B is not special. But C, if you notice, C has 10 votes. If C was to leave, that 26 would drop to 16. That's a loser, so that means C has to be there. C special. Oh, lost my lights for a second. There we go. All right, so from here, we just count up all of our checks. A was checked 1 time, B was checked 1 time, C was checked 1, 2, 3 times. Okay, now to convert your findings to percentages to find their overall strength, you take how many coalitions they're needed and divide it by the winning coalitions. So divide that by 3, divide that by 3, divide that by 3. 33%, 33%, 3 divided by 3 is 100%. All right. Now, the Condor Say method is one of those methods that's going to take you a long time, and I would recommend you going back and watching the individual Condor Say method video on E-Class. So I'm just going to do a couple of these. All right, so the first one I'm going to do is, I'm just going to do this one right here. I'm not going to do them all, I'm just going to do a few. Okay. All right, so I want to figure out Scotland, New Zealand. Now I already put a win there, but I just want to show you how I got the win. It's only between Scotland and New Zealand. Remember, Scotland and New Zealand. So go through each column. Now I know that there's an Italy, France, and Australia in there, but we're forgetting about that. We're just ignoring. We're just looking at Scotland, New Zealand. So who was ranked higher between Scotland and New Zealand here? New Zealand. Scotland was ranked higher than New Zealand here, so that's Scotland. Now who was ranked higher, Scotland, New Zealand? Now you might be saying, well, Italy was. We don't care about Italy. It's between Scotland and New Zealand. So Scotland, New Zealand, even though they're the bottom two, Scotland is still ranked higher. Here in this column, Scotland is ranked higher. So Scotland was ranked higher here, here, and here. So 45, 34, and 40 votes is obviously higher than 36. So you would say that Scotland beat New Zealand. Okay, so the way you write that is Scotland won against New Zealand, and then you can turn around and say New Zealand lost to Scotland. So you can do two at a time. All right, the next one, let's do this one here, and this will probably be the last one I'm going to do, and that is Scotland and Australia. All right, so Scotland and Australia. So let me kind of start over by erasing all this. So now it's between Scotland and Australia. So who was ranked higher? Scotland was. This column, Scotland was ranked higher. Now notice that Australia was ranked higher than Scotland. Here, Scotland was ranked higher. So again, Scotland won 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. Add these 3 numbers up. Obviously, you'll get higher than 34. That's why Scotland won. And you can also say Australia lost to Scotland. All right. So after it's all said and done, you get everybody's wins to losses. Scotland won 4-0. New Zealand, that's a 2-2 situation. Australia is a 0-4. France is a 2-2. And then Italy was a 2-2. So we had a lot of ties here, but we also have a clear winner and a clear super loser, so to speak. So which country came in first place? Scotland. Never lost. Which country came in last place? That was Australia. All right. Again, watch the video on the Condor Say Method if you need more help. Based on the completed Condor Say chart, who is the overall winner? All right, so A had 2 wins. Hold on. No, that's a 2-2. Sorry. This is a 1-3 situation. C is a 2-2, so we have a tie here. D has a 3-1 situation, and then lastly E has a 3-1. All right, so the tie is obviously between D and E. All right, so don't say, oh, it's a tie. You got to look at the tiebreaker. Now, how do you do a tiebreaker? It's between D and E. Look to where when D versus E, who won? Well, let's see. D and E. Oh, there we are right there. There's 2 ways you can look at it. D beat E, or E lost to D. Either way, D is our winner. That's how you break the tie. All right. So Arrow's conditions, these are the ones that's causing a lot of folks some issues. So hopefully after watching this, you'll know what's going on. All right. So match the situation. So freedom, think of the word free. Non-dictatorship, think of the word of dictator. I always call this unanimous. That's 100%. Individual sovereignty. All right. Oh, sorry, I screwed up. Over here, don't think of freedom. Think of irrelevant. Sorry, you're probably screaming at the screen right now. Irrelevant. If you're irrelevant, that means you're a loser. All right. So these are kind of the buzzwords. Now you might be asking, well, what about uniqueness? This is the weird one. Okay, so this right here is the weird one. I always say, save that till last. All right, so you are not allowed to rank your choices. Well, you are not free to rank your choices. After using the runoff method to determine the winner, the outcome is New Zealand. But when the candidate France is thrown out, so what happened was the winner was New Zealand, but then when a loser, France, is thrown out, the winner is now Italy. So now the winner is no longer the winner. Why? Because of a loser. That's how things change. Oh, here we go. Every voter. Every voter, it sounds like 100% to me. John wants Peter to win the election. All right, that's more weird one, but let's hold up. Sarah wants to go to France, so that's where the group will go. One person has all the power. Sounds like a dictator to me. And then lastly, John wants Peter to win the election. You need this group ranking. So again, what I always recommend, and that is figuring out what all the other ones are, and then process elimination, uniqueness of group ranking. All right. Alrighty. This will probably be the last one of our video, and it is now another power ranking. All right, so what we have here is a situation, 31 votes to pass an issue, A, B, C, D. Now, you are able to make 15 coalitions. This never changes, okay? Now, how many winning coalitions are there? Well, I went ahead and did the work for you on the key. We're looking for 31 or more votes. Notice that everything that does not have 31 or more votes is a loser. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there you are, 7. Now, that's when you go through now. So if B was to leave, if D was to leave, all right? If B was to leave and D was to leave, they would both be special. They both get checks. This is identical to the last power ranking one, which was in the back. I can't find. A special, D special. A, B, C. Let's see if I can do this real quick. All right. I believe they're all special. All right. A is not special because if A was to leave, that 47 drops to a 31. A is not special. B is not special. I believe D is special. All right. So A, let's see, 31 votes. A, yep, A special. Let's see, C, nope, that'll drop down to 34, I'm sorry. D, yep, that's special. B, C, D, let's see. B, yep. C, nope. C was to walk away, that's 31 votes, that's all we need. D, and then A, B, C, D, no one special there. So add up the checks. A ended up having 3 checks, B, C, and D. Now remember to convert your power index to the percentage. You got to divide it by the winning coalition. So 3 divided by 7, 3 divided by 7, 1 divided by 7, 5 divided by 7. There you go. Alrighty. That's video 1. I'm hoping to get probably 4 videos. So there you have it. Let me know if you have any questions. Goodbye.